Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome to Weekend Update. I'm Michael Che.
I'm Colin Jost.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who was the real-life model for Mo Sizlak, announced that more New Yorkers will be eligible for the COVID vaccine beginning next week. New Yorkers will have to provide documentation of their condition and answer medical questions like, what's the matter, you?
And then, this was good, just hours ago, Trump released a video from the hospital saying he's in better health, which is great news. Though I will point out that if the situation were reversed and it was Biden who got sick, Trump would 100% be at a maskless rally tonight, getting huge laughs, doing an impression of Biden on a ventilator. Just saying.
Kim Kardashian has filed for divorce from Kanye West. And I really sympathize with Kanye because I know from experience how difficult it is to have to move that many sneakers out of a white lady's apartment. Researchers studying the remains of a woolly mammoth have uncovered the world's oldest DNA sequence. In fact, it's so old, Andrew Cuomo is covering up its death.
Come on, dude.
That's a good one. Come on. Stop it. Stop it.
Goldman Sachs is reporting that if Joe Biden wins the election and Democrats regain control of Congress, the economy will recover faster. I don't have a joke for that. I just wanted to point out that Trump's only thing he says he's good at is the economy, and then the economy itself was like, I'm voting for Biden.
The FDA has authorized a vaccine from New Jersey-based company Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson will now pair the vaccine with needles from New Jersey's #1 syringe supplier, The Beach. Who's still on the fence about this election? Whether you're voting for Trump or Biden, you definitely made up your mind, and you're probably not thrilled about it. These choices are so bad that Kanye's running, and people are like, maybe? That wouldn't happen if we had actually good candidates. When Kennedy was running against Nixon, nobody was like, what about Little Richard?
Mitch McConnell, seen here authorizing the vet to put his kid's dog to sleep, he said that he's open to the discussion of gun control laws, but what he's not attracted to is something that doesn't work. And you know he's attracted to something because his neck pouch will inflate.
I hate that.
You also know politics in 2020 is stupid when some of the best investigative journalism is being done by Borat.
So woke. President Biden is reportedly determining if he has the legal authority to cancel student debt through an executive order. Come on, man, just do it. I think the country can afford one reckless action after 4 years of President Kool-Aid Man.
Jared Kushner, who always looks like a child dressed up for a funeral, Jared said Monday that black Americans have to want to help themselves if they want to be successful. Yeah, I don't know if I trust a guy who thinks the black experience is the highest tier at American Express.
The CDC is facing criticism for its mixed messaging regarding the coronavirus. And you know what? I have to agree with this because all year the CDC has been texting me saying that I was eligible for the vaccine, but every time I clicked the link, it was just a picture of this guy. Trump has reportedly said to allies that he will have to be dragged out of the White House kicking and screaming. Good. Jeff Bezos' rocket company, Blue Origin, is auctioning off one seat on the first flight of its passenger rocket. Wow. Why are all these rich white people trying to go to space? Look, if there's any Martians watching this, when you see a bunch of foreign ships pull up on your land, take it from a black dude, don't get on them. Unless you want to be a Martian with the last name Washington. I don't know what that is. It was reported that President Trump has been discussing the possibility of issuing a preemptive pardon for Jared Kushner. His price? One night with Kushner's wife. According to recent studies, men who have had COVID can experience erectile dysfunction, and some have even reported a decrease in the size of their penis. Now, that's how you sell some masks. I mean, Fauci, you want people to get vaccinated. You need to run with this. Forget stop the spread. It should be stop the shrink.
President-elect Joe Biden has emphasized his commitment to vaccine distribution by promising 100 million shots in 100 days, which is also his Botox routine.
In the wake of the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas, insiders praised President Biden's light touch when dealing with Benjamin Netanyahu. But in fairness, everything Biden does involves some kind of touch. Pro-Trump rally in Washington, D.C., protesters burned Black Lives Matter signs at two historic black churches. You know, I don't want to be too judgmental here, but at some point when you're setting fires at black churches, you got to stop and ask yourself, hey, am I the bad guy here? Biden signed an executive order repealing Trump's ban on transgender people serving in the military. Fortunately, yeah, it's good news. It's good news, except Biden is calling the policy "Don't Ask, Don't Tuck," which is not good news. Bezos announced that he is stepping down as CEO of Amazon later this year. I'd just like to finally spend some time with my family, said Amazon workers.
Saying that on the night Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's picture was first made public, one of his college friends who was arrested on Wednesday texted Tsarnaev, joking that he looked like one of the suspects. You know, when they say if you see something, say something, they don't mean to the terrorist. Questions about her hairstyles during an interview Wednesday with Barbara Walters, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said that she does not travel with a hairdresser and she does not consider herself competent with her own hairstyle. She then added, by the way, I'm the Secretary of State. Both presidential campaigns have spent more than half of their advertising budgets in Florida, Ohio, and Virginia, and Joe Biden has already promised the rest to Marge. Guys, Cam, that's a picture of someone campaigning. This week began debates on a new immigration reform bill that faces a number of hurdles before it can be voted on, including border security. Incidentally, a number of hurdles is their plan for border security. Oprah Winfrey Thursday, and Lance Armstrong admitted to using banned drugs and blood transfusions to get his 7 Tour de France victories, which explains why during his last 2 races he didn't even need a bike. Interview Thursday, Ann Romney responded to criticism of her husband's presidential campaign, saying, "Stop it, this is hard. You want to try it? Get in the ring." In response, the interviewer entered the race and is leading Mitt Romney by 5 points. Also condemned the IRS for targeting conservative groups for extra scrutiny, saying public service is a solemn privilege. In response, Joe Biden quietly deflated his whoopee cushion. The 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s historic I Have a Dream speech, as well as the 1-year anniversary of my girlfriend's I Had the Weirdest Dream speech. Guess which one was longer? Mitt Romney said that even though he likes Big Bird, if elected, he would stop the subsidy to PBS. It's a surprising threat, considering that Mitt is such an excellent Muppet name. Friday became stranded on the Long Island Expressway after the record snowfall, trapping drivers inside their vehicles overnight, which for the LIE is actually making pretty good time. Trapped overnight's not that bad. Prepared for Thursday's debate by studying policy and holding practice debates, and I think Biden prepared by shotgunning Red Bull and watching Yosemite Sam cartoons. Activist Ted Nugent attended the State of the Union on Tuesday, so it was a long, nervous evening for Colorado's Senator Mule Deer. A poll shows that Mitt Romney now has a 7-point lead on President Obama. That's right. Romney leads by 7 points among people who still answer landline calls from a blocked number. Those people. Officially resigned on Thursday night after 8 years as pontiff, revealing an incredible case of hat hair. That's going to take a while to come down. Estimated that Hurricane Sandy, which ravaged the East Coast on Monday, left 8 million homes and businesses without power. Also, one man. who was dressed as a bishop, was able Monday to sneak into the meeting of cardinals in the Vatican as they tried to choose a new pope. Dude, just mind your own business for a while. You don't have to be everywhere. We're good. We're good without your help. President Obama's victory on Tuesday was due largely to his popularity with both college students and the unemployed. So basically, Obama became president the same way Budweiser became the king of beers. That the shirtless photo an FBI agent sent to Jill Kelly was not intended to be flirtatious, but instead was a joke photo of the agent standing shirtless next to two target dummies. Oh, that doesn't make it better. North Korea has loaded 2 missiles onto launchers on its east coast and is threatening to fire them at the United States. So let this be a warning to you, middle of the ocean. This week, 6 more senators changed their stance on same-sex marriage after what must have been an amazing brunch. So good. Head of the group Gun Owners of America said this week that he does not believe polls saying 90% of Americans want background checks, calling them hokum. And he must have his finger on America's pulse if he knows cool slang words like hokum. Obama on Monday used Twitter and urged supporters to pressure Republicans to accept his deal to avoid the fiscal cliff, because if they won't listen to the President of the United States, maybe they'll listen to @MuffinBuster14. Wireless announced Tuesday that it will start selling the iPhone in early February, offering a choice to users upset with AT&T. A spokesman for AT&T said something, but I didn't catch most of it. The Tea Party member Christine O'Donnell, the Republican candidate for Senate in Delaware, admitted back in the 90s that she once dabbled in witchcraft. Though I'll bet she never expected it to work. Michelle Bachmann this week created a controversy when she said in a speech that the Founding Fathers worked tirelessly until slavery was no more. Apparently, she spent her high school history class looking off to the right of the blackboard. President White House released Rahm Emanuel back into the wild. Speculation is Emanuel is returning to Chicago to run for mayor. There are many questions facing his campaign, the biggest being, can he kiss a baby without it bursting into flames? Cole created a controversy on Twitter this week with a tweet that said, millions are in uproar in Cairo. Rumor is they heard about our new spring collection. It's reminiscent of that controversial Gap ad, everyone in Somalia is starving for cords. Egypt has dominated the Nations Conference in Washington on Tuesday. President Obama's speech was interrupted when the presidential seal on his podium fell off 2 years early. Leader Muammar Gaddafi appeared on a Serbian TV station this past weekend and denied there was any revolt in his country, saying there are no incidents at the moment and Libya is completely quiet. There is nothing unusual, adding, aside as always, from my face and my outfits. In honor of the role, hiring several leading Republicans, including Newt Gingrich, Mike Huckabee, and Sarah Palin, accused NPR of censorship and called for Congress to cut off federal funding for NPR. So in case you were wondering how much Republicans hate NPR, they're siding with a black guy named Juan. College football! On Friday, the NFL Players Union decertified, which led to the owners announcing a lockout. There's still ample time for a solution before the season starts, but when many are saying is a bad sign, Jerry Jones just listed a 2,100-inch television set on eBay. Packages containing explosive devices were found on cargo planes from Yemen bound for Chicago area synagogues. Although I can't imagine anyone in a synagogue answering the door and saying, "Oh, a strange package from Yemen. Where do I sign?" The economy, a new report shows that over 200,000 people found jobs this month. You know things have to be going pretty well when even Gary Busey is working. He looks surprised to be working. A bipartisan commission released Wednesday suggested that in order to bring down the deficit, the government would need to raise the retirement age to 69 by the year 2075. So the next time a baby is crying on your flight, it's probably because they just found out they're going to have to work until they're 69 in New China. Beck will transition off his Fox News show later this year. in much the same way that he gradually transitioned off his rocker. It did say Tuesday that children going through airport security will no longer be subject to the aggressive pat-downs that have angered many adult passengers. Said terror this week, everybody looked like a Navy SEAL to Muammar Gaddafi? Ah! Dude, do not sneak up on me like that. Week's document dump. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton spent the week calling U.S. allies to apologize and try to repair any damage done to their relationship. Said Bill Clinton, not so fun, is it? And why is she acting so fake? This week rejected Obama's compromise plan. The White House took a page from the music industry. If you're not selling like you used to, break out the greatest hits. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met Friday at the White House one day after Obama called for Israel to return to its 1967 borders. It's hard to know what was said at the meeting, but I'm betting on heavy use of the word mashugana. Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, was freed on bail Thursday and sent to stay at a luxurious mansion in the English countryside. So is he under arrest or is he on The Bachelorette?
Mary Kay Letourneau and her former student, Billy Falau, were married Thursday night. According to witnesses, she wore Vera Wang while he wore Spider-Man.
Effort to have the Constitution read aloud on Thursday was interrupted several times, including when readers skipped 2 pages, when a Democrat complained that passages regarding slavery were omitted, and when a birther in the gallery shouted out that President Obama was not eligible to be in office. And it didn't help that this music was playing the whole time. He criticized President Obama, saying that he was out of touch after years of flying around on Air Force One surrounded by an adoring staff. Romney added, the last time I saw someone that out of touch was when my yachting coach wore cufflinks to a garden party. In debate, Governor Rick Perry said that he was confident of his chances, saying, I am the Tim Tebow of the Iowa caucuses, but I still don't think the face paint was necessary. In New York on Tuesday, Governor Rick Perry criticized President Obama's stance toward Israel, calling it naive, arrogant, misguided, and dangerous, which is odd because I thought that was Perry's. Failed in their third attempt to launch a rocket and put a satellite into orbit when the rocket disintegrated barely a minute after takeoff. This brings us to a segment we like to call The Republican Party are investigating a report that 20 votes on Tuesday were mistakenly recorded for Mitt Romney, which would mean that Rick Santorum actually won the caucus. And you know what that means? Nothing. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie announced that he was not running for president, and then on Wednesday, Sarah Palin also announced that she would not run. Palin said that she would love to be president, but she just couldn't handle the 2-year commitment. On Wednesday, formally ended his campaign and gave a tepid endorsement of Mitt Romney, saying this is a choice between Mitt Romney and the most radical leftist president in history, which fits with Romney's new slogan, come with me if you want to live. Strong second-place finish in the New Hampshire primary on Tuesday. Ron Paul greeted supporters by walking out on stage to the Darth Vader theme from Star Wars. I guess because his aides couldn't find the cassette that had this. Candidates met once again for what appeared to be either a seance or the world's most boring poker game. Let's see. Boring poker game? Boring poker game? Oh, it was a seance. It was a seance. They criticized President Obama's support of gay marriage, accusing the president of leading a war on traditional marriage, and Limbaugh wants it to mean something if he ever gets traditional married for the 5th time. They won the Florida primary with 47% of the vote, 47%, or as it's known in Florida schools, a B-. On Wednesday, a third woman from the National Restaurant Association came forward alleging that she was also sexually harassed by Herman Cain, so just one more and he gets free crazy bread. Newsweek magazine this week featured President Obama on the cover with the headline, "The First Gay President." Look, it doesn't mean he's gay just because he's in good shape and goes to a lot of parties and spends money freely and travels constantly and has a rose garden. Oh my God, he's gay. Rick Santorum is hoping his 3 wins in the Republican primaries on Tuesday will position him as the conservative alternative to Mitt Romney, and I think that's reflected in his new campaign slogan, "The Other White Meat." Allegations of sexual harassment, Herman Cain faced new criticism from the Republican debate Wednesday after he referred to Nancy Pelosi as Princess Nancy, which sounds offensive, but was probably just a reference to her new hairstyle. Hearing held Thursday to debate President Obama's birth control mandate was criticized for not including any women, though that makes sense once you learn that the hearing was held in the congressional treehouse. Gingrich received consulting fees between $1.6 and $1.8 million from mortgage lenders Freddie Mac, who many conservatives blame for the crash of the economy. Come on, Newt. A Republican who supported Freddie Mac has as much chance of getting elected as a Democrat who extended the Bush tax cuts, kept Guantanamo open, or took money from Wall Street. Or, you know what, Newt? I don't know. I'm not going to count you out yet. Primary this week, Mitt Romney received the endorsement of musician Kid Rock. Now he just has to focus on locking up the Juggalo vote. This week placed him in the lead for the GOP presidential nomination. Newt Gingrich said that his new front-runner status is disorienting. Then Rick Perry said the same thing about a spiral staircase. Winning the Super Tuesday primary in Georgia, Newt Gingrich vowed to continue his campaign, saying, "I'm the tortoise. I take it one step at a time. Also, if you roll me onto my back, I can never get up." Wednesday surprised women's health advocates by rejecting a request to make the Plan B morning after pill available over the counter, which means that a lot of people will just go with Plan C.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie on Tuesday was sworn into his second term. However, the massive blizzard forced the cancellation of his inauguration reception. Odd, since a Chris Christie party usually starts with a massive blizzard.
In Congress this week attempted to defund Obamacare before it begins open enrollment on October 1st. Because you know the old saying, if you can't beat them, kick the ball into the woods. Robertson, one of the stars of Duck Dynasty, attended the State of the Union as a guest of Representative Vance McAllister, and no one was more upset about it than Louisiana Senator Bill Quackenbush. The government shutdown. The U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado is facing a toilet paper shortage, giving new meaning to the phrase, "You've got a bogey on your tail."
Obama's Let's Move campaign released a video Thursday showing President Obama and Joe Biden exercising by running around the White House. And I think it's probably hard for all of us to picture Joe Biden running around without hearing this music.
Vatican this week recalled more than 6,000 medals honoring Pope Francis after it was discovered that Jesus had been misspelled. Meanwhile, Kanye West received a shipment of 6,000 medals with Yeezus misspelled.
This week warned Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has sent warships to Crimea, that he's on the wrong side of history. Pretty strong words from a guy who still uses a BlackBerry.
Republicans this week opened hearings into the failure of the healthcare.gov website. So don't worry about that tech issue, America. A bunch of our oldest men are on the case.
Obama on Thursday met for the first time with Pope Francis at the Vatican, where the Pope gave Obama a copy of his book, The Joy of the Gospel, and told him, "This is for when you're bored," adding, "There's weed inside."
Poll, President Obama's approval rating has reached a new low of 42%. It's gotten so bad, even Bo is trying to distance himself.
A high school senior from Long Island, New York this week was accepted into all 8 Ivy League schools. This, according to every conversation his mother has for the rest of her life.
Boehner criticized President Obama's attempt to repair the Affordable Care Act, saying there is no way to fix this. And statements like that are just one of the reasons Boehner is known as the Eeyore of Congress.
Thursday, that Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, who oversaw the troubled launch of the Affordable Care Act, is resigning from office. Sebelius says she's stepping down because she has so many more things she wants to barely accomplish.
This week honored 16 people with the Medal of Freedom, including Bill Clinton, Oprah Winfrey, as well as his 14 other remaining supporters.
V. Stiviano, the ex-girlfriend of Donald Sterling, continued to insist that she did not release the recordings of Sterling's racist comments. Though I don't know if I'd trust a woman who sounds like she got her name from how often she's a defendant.
Congress does not pass a new farm bill by the end of the year, the country could face milk prices as high as $8 a gallon, which could have a devastating effect on already unstable cereal mascots.
Rob Ford said in an interview this week that rehab reminds him of football camp, but only because he wanted to quit both after taking less than 12 steps.
This week reached an agreement on the budget that ends the threat of another government shutdown in January. The deal was finally struck after every member of Congress was visited by 3 ghosts.
Donald Sterling said that he was set up, saying, "I was baited," and baiting is the right word because Sterling himself is a catfish.
On Thursday criticized A&E for suspending Duck Dynasty's Phil Robertson for his anti-gay comments, including Senator Ted Cruz, Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, and Governor Bobby Jindal, or as they're collectively known, Dork Dynasty. Fox Sports this week revealed new technology that it plans to use during this year's Super Bowl, including a device that will show how wind affects a quarterback or a kicker. The device is called the Nacho Cheese Dorito Locos Taco Supreme Wind Meter.
Trump is changing things up in Minnesota to calm the recent violence against his poll numbers. Border Patrol official Gregory Bavino, who was incredible in one battle after another, has been removed.
That one of the reasons the government shut down is because Democrats want transgender for everybody, which is obviously not true. But at the same time, I wouldn't say no to my own set of these.
Bad idea. I don't know. I'm not really an expert on Iran, so let's hear from someone who can explain why we might have done it.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
Yeah. See, now that's the Trump I voted for.
Credit, I have to say, for brokering this ceasefire in Gaza, but I'm slightly skeptical since Biden also negotiated a ceasefire in Gaza 9 months ago. Remember that? No? Well, neither does Biden.
Trump announced that he will attend the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which will be hosted by famous mind reader Oz Perlman. Big deal. Even I can read Trump's mind. Dementia.
Former Republican congressman who had pled guilty to fraud and something called aggravated identity theft, which I think is when you push someone into a closet and switch clothes with them, is now free and will face 0 consequences. But Santos says that he's a changed man, and he even released a photo of his new prison body.
Khamenei was chosen by Iran's 88-member Assembly of Experts. Make that 62 members. President Trump posted a message on Truth Social reading, "Iran will have a great future. Make Iran great again," or MIGA, as in this nigga crazy. Minister Sinai Takachi said during a press conference that she is nominating President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. And I can't believe I get to say this, but thank God nobody listens to women.
Gordon, you okay?
Just how suspicious is that? Such a weird move. Don't worry, by the way, the man who collapsed is totally okay. You can tell because if there's something dead on the ground, RFK eats it. It's an email written by Jeffrey Epstein in which he claims that Donald Trump, quote, knew about the girls. It's bombshell news that legal experts are calling duh. This week's Epstein documents are obviously very dark and disturbing, but I also think it's kind of adorable that Epstein's email address was jeevacation@gmail. It's like if Jeffrey Dahmer's was dinnertimejeff@yahoo.
The World Cup draw was held Friday, and Team USA will first face Paraguay. The U.S. team is heavily favored to beat Paraguay with the help of their star player.
Focus on the affordability crisis, but he drifted off topic just a little bit.
They don't use the word chief of staff anymore because of the Indians. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Do we love minors? I love minors. What? Don't forget who? Eggs.
Justice released another batch of Epstein documents, which critics pointed out deliberately omitted references to Donald Trump in a totally non-suspicious way. And honestly, it's not fair. You know, Donald Trump was my favorite character in the Epstein files. It's like when House of Cards suddenly stopped starring Kevin Spacey, probably because he had booked a recurring role in the Epstein files.
Officials in Minnesota have sued the Trump administration, claiming that their large-scale ICE actions are an unconstitutional federal invasion, while the Trump administration claims that, yep. Vice President J.D. Vance criticized protesters confronting ICE officers, saying they should instead write an op-ed or argue about it on social media. You know, just like these young scholars did on January 6th. I get that ICE agents are people, allegedly, and they have a job to do, but at some point, while you're pepper spraying old ladies or shooting at a nurse, do you ever stop and ask yourself, are we dicks? Get an update on Michael K.